Hi friends, my name is Tiffany and I am a fat yoga teacher trying to make yoga more accessible to everybody. If you aren't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. But I want to make more videos like this. I have been asked to share about my eating disorder and where I came from and everything. So enjoy some footage of my 7 a.m. class and then me preparing my breakfast. So I have this breakfast all the time. This is just some sliced strawberries and then some granola, yogurt, and honey. But I hesitated sharing my story. I'm not sure why, but I decided this morning I really want to talk about it. I feel like because now I'm just kind of thinking about it here, I feel like it was probably because it's very triggering. It's very emotional for me still, even like I'm kind of years into recovery, but I still have relapses. I probably relapsed a couple months ago. That was like the last time. And I even shared it on TikTok. There's a video saying like I relapsed and this is what I do after I relapse. And there's probably been other moments where I have eaten too much and haven't felt good. But like for the most part, I try to listen to my body, see what I'm feeling, and like follow like an intuitive eating path. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately, but it doesn't mean that like would work for every single person. So, you have to kind of trust what would work for you. If you are struggling with an eating disorder, I would also say go and get some sort of help from a therapist, a dietitian, anybody who has like good, registered, I'm like messing up my words here. Whoever has an actual like degree in it, because that's not me. That's not what I do. But here you go. Good morning, friends. So I have the last bit of yogurt left in this container and I just made my breakfast and I didn't want to dirty up another container, so I just decided to do it in the container the yogurt was already in. So my name is Tiffany. I am a fat yoga teacher trying to make yoga more accessible to everybody. Welcome. I really wanted to talk about eating disorders because there's this misconception about fat people like doesn't fit like the stereotypical eating disorder. So therefore they don't have eating disorders. Like they just eat too much, so therefore they need to lose weight. So here's the thing, like fat people know that they're fat and they're constantly trying to lose weight. They're constantly trying to like fit into this like stigma. And that's where the eating disorders come in. So me personally, I was orthorexic for sure, and then had binge eating disorder. So occasionally I would purge, but mostly it was just binge eating disorder and orthorexic. So let's just talk about both of them. Orthorexia is basically an obsession with eating healthy foods. And you could say as anybody who's on a diet, but it's an obsession. Like I wouldn't go to different social gatherings. I would bring my own food. I wouldn't allow myself to eat the same thing that my family was eating. I would think that I was going to die if I ate something outside the guidelines of my diet. I literally told myself that if I eat anything outside, like I was a piece of shit. I had a lot of like really negative thoughts that were associated with eating healthy. And I literally would become obsessed with it. So I would plan out every single meal. I love talking about it. I would like get high off the fact that like I lost weight. if somebody noticed, like, oh, you're getting thinner, like that would like make the orthorexia worse, to where I would like go deeper into it. Like, oh, if they're noticing, that means I'm doing a good job. Therefore, I want to keep doing it. God, it was such a spiral. I remember at one point, like, I was trying to get pregnant with my son, and I was terrified of gaining weight. And I had gotten down, here's the crazy thing. My goal, let me just say this. At one point, I weighed 283 pounds, actually way more now. But I weighed 283 pounds, and I was like, I want to lose 100 pounds. I became obsessed with the number 183. And so I would weigh myself, and I got down to like 195, and I was like 12 pounds away. And I just like became obsessed. And this is when the binge eating really like started coming in, because I was limiting myself so much that at the end of the night, I would get upset and I would start binging. And so then I started using food as like this drug. Like, I had nothing else. I would like work out to these extremes. I wasn't losing any weight, probably because my body was hanging on to everything. My calories, I would like limit them to like 1,000 to 1,200 calories. Like, don't go over 1,200. And I was working out 3 to 4 hours a day. Like, it was bad. And then I got injured. Worst injury of my life. I was working out. I was preparing to run a marathon. I got really into running. Like, it was an obsession. I ran a half marathon every single month that year. Like, I was training for a half marathon nonstop for a whole year. Like, it's really unhealthy. Like, your body needs time to like recover. And I would be like, oh, 3 days later, let's start training again, 10 miles. Oh my God. Like, it was so toxic. And like, my goal was to, beat my previous marathon, which, by the way, I have ran a marathon before. So one day I was like, okay, I'm going to run 17 miles, which took like 3.5 hours, by the way. And then I did 2 P90X videos. 2. So I literally ran 17 miles and did 2 P90X videos. I was exercising so much that I wouldn't tell people that I was doing it. 5 hours of exercise just as a training regime. Like, that is insane to me. Like, it's too much. It's too much. And I remember telling my friend, like, I could never train for a marathon again. It's just too time consuming. Like, every single thought outside of work, inside of work, during the day, when I went to sleep at night, my entire life revolved around my running schedule, when I ate, like a lot of things, and was so toxic. And I couldn't lose 12 pounds. I couldn't. My body was like holding on to it, like, Tiffany, you need this weight to run, like, you're crazy. And then I injured myself, and it was so bad I couldn't do yoga. It was so bad that like my leg burned 24/7. It was like the worst nerve damage ever in my back. It took like 2 years to recover. I couldn't run. I couldn't take a step, like a running step. That's how bad it was. So like, I know that was like so toxic. It was so bad. And this binge eating disorder, I kind of didn't talk about it before, but like, essentially it's like looking at food, and I still struggle with this sometimes. I look at food and I think, it's not enough. I need more. Like, I want more, or this tastes so good, I'm going to eat every single bite of this food. And I think about it sometimes, like, I'm going to eat every single bite because it's on my plate, which is one of the things, like, I never make my kids clean their plates, ever. I struggle with getting my kids to take 5 bites. And, like, I don't want my kids to ever have to feel like they need to clean their plates, ever. Like, children should just, like, be allowed to like consume food as they'd like. Sometimes I just put their dinner in like small bags and say, these are the snacks. And get them to eat it that way. And this is something if we were having like chicken nuggets and fries or something, they'll eat it out of plastic bags. They won't eat it off of a plate. They just think it's like not fun. My kids are 2 and 6, by the way. So just kind of getting back to it, like I just remember that week so vividly, like it's in my mind. And so immediately I'm like, I'm going to like, get pregnant if I can't like run. And the plan was already that I was 29. I just turned 29 and I was like, my plan was run the marathon in December of that year. And then I was going to take a whole year off of running, get pregnant, and then get back to it the following year. That was like my goal. I would keep running, I would keep doing stuff, but not like train. And then I got injured and then I was like, fudge. Like it just, Anytime I went outside, I would start crying because I couldn't run. It was awful. I had an eating disorder and an injury and I couldn't exercise. And that's when my eating disorder got really bad. So you thought it was bad before, it got worse because then I started limiting calories even more. I was trying to get pregnant. I started reading up about like all the different ways, like how to get pregnant. I ended up getting pregnant like 3 months later, which I don't even know how because I was told I couldn't. And once I got pregnant, then I didn't want to gain any weight. Like my doctor told me like, oh, gain like 10 pounds, 10 to 15 is like what he recommended. And I was still like 195, like when I got pregnant. I think when I had Dom, I was like maybe 225. And I felt shitty about that because I had gained like 30 pounds. And I was like, God, I'm such a piece of shit because I gained all this weight. And so immediately I went into like this starvation mode, couldn't breastfeed, couldn't do all the things because like I wasn't really nutritionally like doing the proper things. And I know that I'm more nutritionally better than I was before because my daughter's 2.5 and I'm still breastfeeding her because I am healthier now than I was then when I was weighing like 200 pounds. And the crazy thing about like being fat and having an eating disorder is like you're a success story when you lose your weight. Like if you lost weight and being fat, people are like, good job. Like, gosh, you look so great. And like, that's the only thing doctors really measure. They don't see all the things. And so with my daughter, I was already like heavier. I had ended up, this was like 4 years later. And I had already started like therapy for like eating disorder and like doing a lot of things. I had done research on it. I started looking up things. I wanted to be a better mom for my son. So I started like just kind of looking up all the things. And then I got pregnant with my daughter by accident. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to end up gaining all this weight again. And I was already like 280 at the time. I had gained like all the way back. I was feeling really shitty. And actually, my daughter made me so sick that I ended up losing 30 pounds when I was pregnant with her. Not on purpose. It was, God, I was sick. Like for 6 months, I was sick. The one time I like felt like I was strong enough to eat something, like I bought, it was like one day in like November, I think, maybe December. I don't remember. But I bought like, it was at Costco and there was like this griddle thing, bread with like turkey and cranberry and Havarti. And I literally bought one of the griddles there. I spent like $80 so that I could make this sandwich. I spent like $150 so I could make the sandwich at home. And I made it like every single day for like a month straight because it was the only thing I could keep down. And even then, like later, having her, I just didn't feel good the whole time. And then after I had her, I just like realized like how important it is to like have a healthy relationship with food. She's now 2.5. Let me see, May, almost 2.5. She'll be 2.5 like for my birthday. This is like the end of September. So it's like 2 years and 4 months or something. So, yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at as far as eating disorder recovery, therapy, research, following other people who are kind of on the same path as me, talking to people, understanding where I'm coming from. I went through yoga teacher training and I literally like had all of these revelations pop up for me. It's like an in-depth study, like self-study, which sounds really weird, but like I feel like I really want to create a journal to like help people study themselves, because I think people don't even realize that's like a thing. Self-study is so important to like understand what your true thoughts are, not like the influences that are happening outside of you. So these would be true thoughts that you have about yourself and how your body feels. And, if I was to weigh myself, I probably weigh a little over 300 pounds right now. It's not a weight that I want to be at, like for health reasons, obviously. But I've never felt more comfortable in my own skin. Like I've never felt like empowered enough to like take my shirt off. I never felt that when I was like at 190, for sure. Never. I would never run without my shirt on. Absolutely not. And now I could give a fuck. Like I don't care. I don't, because that's somebody else's problem, not mine. You need to work on yourself and understand why you are triggered by my presence. That's exactly how I feel. You will not change my mind. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That's where I'm at this point. So at this point, I think the only thing I really struggle with is binge eating disorder. At times, every once in a while, I'll have a relapse, and I can tell when like things are super stressful, like I'll like start craving something. Or here's the other thing is whenever I allow myself to like wait for a food, I need to eat when I'm hungry. And that's one thing that like I would do is I would think about not eating as like this good thing. Like, oh good, my stomach is growling, I'm probably losing weight. No. Really super toxic thinking. Do not think like that. Your body needs fuel, energy. And the thing is I was so obsessed with losing weight that I ended up I gained all the weight back. So like, if you're like, I lost 25 pounds because I did this diet, like check back in with me in 5 years. Because yeah, me too. I did lose the weight too. I lost almost 100 pounds, okay? Like, and I could start crying right now because it's like, it's very triggering for me to hear somebody else go, it just, if you just like tried. I did do it. And then I like went down the rabbit hole and like totally fucked myself over. And I feel like people don't see that in fat people. They see fat people as lazy and pieces of shit. And it really, really bothers me because it's like, we work our asses off. We probably work harder than anybody else when it comes to like weight and appearances, because we want to smell good. We want to look appropriate. We don't want to be judged. We want to be nothing. And it's so sad because it's like, we don't need to feel that way. We can feel like happy and empowered and like comfortable at the exact weight that we're at. We don't have to feel sad and miserable and like constantly afraid of judgment. Like, if you're a fat person watching this, I want you to know something. You are worthy. You are worthy enough to eat something for today. You're worthy enough to like feel good in your body. Eat something, stop when you're full. Feel good. You don't have to go down that rabbit hole. You don't have to be on this endless diet thing. When's the last time you went off a diet? It's probably been a long time. I just want you to know, like, I love you. I was you. And it's okay. It's okay to like forgive yourself for anything that has happened in the past. And it's okay to live in the present right now and love yourself. Okay, my rant is over. Like, I want to stop crying. I need to finish eating my breakfast and doing so many other things, but I just needed to get that out this morning. Thank you for listening, and make sure you're subscribed.